West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals. We are having right now our live special with our 100 sub giveaway, along with going over the AFC West teams that just finished this Sunday and previewing our Sunday night football matchup with the Ravens versus the Bills. Fellas, welcome to the War Room. Let's get a quick roll call, and then we'll dive into it. So, Shovix, kick us off.
Yep, I am Austin, representing the Chiefs.
The 0-1 Chiefs. I'm Corey, representing Broncos country.
I am Matt, representing the 1-0 Broncos.
And I'm Cody, representing the tied for first place in the AFC West Division, Las Vegas Raiders. What is up, everybody? How was everyone's Sunday? What you guys think of the games? Meaningful football is back. How we feeling?
I didn't have any games today. People answer who played today.
That's true. I'm better. I'm better than how the first half started.
Yeah, our group chat was a bit hairy earlier than today. So
yeah.
All right. Well, before we get started, guys, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on social media. We're going to dive into it. Hello, Meg. Welcome. I hope you had a good time at your event. Look great on social media. And then
you looked happy.
Yes. Also, before we get started, we do want to give a big shout out to our huge sponsor, JBW Solutions, veteran-owned, community-driven, safety-focused. So we really appreciate their partnership. Shout out to Jeff and the crew for always being great partners for us. Guys, let's dive into some AFC West matchups that we had. I actually, now that it's fresh on the mind, Corey, Matt, let's talk about the Broncos matchup against the Titans. So what are your guys' thoughts on it? What are your takeaways? Give me the full scoop.
Corey, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, if you look at the first half, you know how upset I was based on their text messages. I really restrained from texting Matt off to the side and just been like, what the bleep are we doing? Because we saw Broncos drive the ball, did really well, and then all of a sudden they get back into red zone, and Titans are setting up for a field goal with like 2 seconds left. So we were kind of like, what the hell? And then I kind of going through the box score in the first half, and then like Bo Nix was throwing the ball way too much in the first half. He still finishes the game with 40 attempts we did, I guess, if you want to count 30 runs, but 8 of those were Bo Nix. But I will say what we thought was going to happen, the defense stepped up when needed. Defense looked really good. Our defensive line looked really good. Benito, Cooper, Ellis, all those guys did their thing. It's week one. There's no reason to kind of, there's going to be overhype or over panic and overreactions. That's not going to be this one. I'm not going to overreact just based on – I still saw a couple questionable things in the second half that I'll save for later this week when we get ready to preview Denver's week 2 matchup with the Colts. Matt?
For me, this whole game was just a comedy of errors, particularly in the first half. Like they had no rhythm. The offense had zero rhythm, and this is one of the things I was like really worried about going into this. We talked about it. It was like, can the offense actually get it together, find the rhythm, get off to these fast starts? And it was just one thing after another. It was just a whole domino effect, and they kept, they would get the momentum back, and then they would give it right back to the Titans. And, I told everyone, I hopped on another live or I watched somebody else's live on TikTok the other day, and watching all these Broncos fans thinking that we were going to blow them out like 30-0. I was like, this is going to be a closer game than you guys think. And it sure is, poop was. But just watching them just kind of like stumble and then stumble again. Eventually they kind of got it together near the end of the third, but like, hey, they got to win over a top 2 defense. The Titans defense definitely showed up. But going forward, they can't have another game like this. I was happy with RJ Harvey's performance. He had 6 carries for 70 yards, but yeah, Nick's 40 attempts on the first game, like, that's too much to be throwing right now. Like, why didn't we run the ball as much as we should have? Like, again, Harvey had a good game. Just, yeah, got to get better going forward.
Austin, what was your takeaway from it, if you saw any of it?
Yeah, I did. They threw the ball, they ran the ball, they tackled. Real good.
You're such a poet. Okay.
I know, I'm telling you.
That's how you play football.
It kind of went how I think people should have expected this game to go. Really, honestly, 2 good defenses. I think the surprising part to me was Bo Nix and Sean Payton in the offense. Too many turnovers. I understand not being able to move the ball at will or something against a defense, but some of these turnovers, a couple forced throws, probably could have had more turnovers than what were there. So I think that's a surprising part, but it's 2 great defenses, and what we should have expected going into the game is kind of how it turned out, minus that part. So Denver will be fine. It's week 1 of the season. Records could be completely different in 3 weeks. Teams will look completely different in 3 weeks. So just be happy. Most people's teams got out of here with a win this week. And then just keep improving.
Yeah, about 75% of the AFC West division came out with a win. So, yeah, quick math. Looking at the box score from a lot of this game, I think what was surprising, we talked about this on our preview show, that this Titans defense is not to be slept on. It's got some studs on there. And I think what Matt has said, it was the number 2 defense last year. And then you have the number 1 defense. So it was a defensive slugfest. I think when I'm looking at the stats, what stood out to me was the interceptions by Bo Nix. After the first half, the amount of runs that the Broncos attempted, which was, I think it was less than 10, if I'm not mistaken, by halftime. And, I think right there that made it concerning for me. At the end of the game, as I'm looking at the team score, the Broncos committed 4 turnovers, but I think the Titans' inexperience with giving up 13 team penalties for 131 yards, also giving up 6 sacks to that tenacious Broncos defense, obviously is like what helped you guys really come out with this victory. And it did help that you guys had some into the first half momentum with that Bo Nix touchdown. And then again, you guys had that J.K. Dobbins touchdown that basically sealed the deal for you guys. So I think this is a good week 1 test, but I'm curious to know, like, who's your guys' matchup week 2?
Colts.
The Colts.
How do you guys feel about matching up with the Colts after this performance?
I don't feel any different way. I mean, we saw what the defense is able to do. Right now, I think the focus has to be on what our offense is going to be able to do. They're going to have to put up more of a fight, I think, because obviously we saw what the Colts were able to do today, and they do have a run game. They do have a quarterback who's more experienced. But again, at the end of the day, say what you want about Cam Ward, his receivers did him no favors in the second half, at least. Mm-hmm. So these are just the mistakes that, you're going to have to be able to fix these this week, because you're going to go up against a little bit more of an experienced team than what you faced today. But I'm not panicking at all. I think we'll be fine, but we just clean up a few things.
Yeah, same. Like I'm not panicking yet, but the question still remains, like, can they stop with these, slow starts to games? Like, yeah, we all saw what our defense can do, but the Colts are also going to be watching. They're going to be looking at the film, and they're going to try and take advantage. Especially the defense, they're going to try and take advantage of what Bo Nix's mistakes were. Like, again, they're going to pick up on that. And even last year, the Colts and the Broncos, they always put up a tough fight against each other. And had Jonathan Taylor not had fumbled before the goal line, that game probably ends differently.
Yeah.
So we have to play smart. They got to play sharp. The offense has to find its rhythm early. Run the ball. There's no reason, it's cool that Bo Nix has an arm and he can make all these throws, but there's no reason we should be attempting 40 throws every single game when RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins already showed they are a very reliable and capable running back duo. Look what they did, Mm-hmm. So utilize that. They have to come up with a better game plan. They have to find the rhythm early, or else, again, never underestimate the Colts. Despite all their woes right now, don't underestimate them, because their game was before ours, and they were probably watching this game too. So,
yeah. And we're going to have Colts Brigade, on. I think it's Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, fellas?
Wednesday,
excuse me. So I'm sure we're going to have a really good matchup preview for that. But I do want to say, too, the Dolphins really aren't a great team. So I think the Colts really putting a shellacking on the Dolphins says more about the Dolphins than it does the Colts. And Austin, I know that you'll bring this probably a bit later, but I am not that big on Daniel Jones. So I think him going up against this Broncos defense will probably bring him back down to earth, because I think the Titans have a pretty solid team. They're just inexperienced. The Colts, though, I don't think are a great team in general, because I don't think Shane Steichen's going to last after this season. I don't think so. And I think the Broncos are going to beat up on the Colts, kind of get back on track and get that confidence up, in my opinion. So I think, it's a good scrappy win that you guys had, but, going into week 2, I think you guys will have a get back track week with the Colts.
It should be. Again, there's just a lot of things that I think need to get cleaned up, and Sean Payton has to take a long look at his game plans and what he's doing. But again, we'll save that for later this week. I won't, the 24-hour rule, I won't air it out right now. I won't think before I talk type things. So and it'll be easy for Matt and I to dive into it the next few days as well, to give us an idea of, what the Colts are going to bring, and then what Denver needs to do better as far as, all the way down to special teams, because we had some special teams errors today too.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Diving into a little bit of the comments, Jeff from JBW Solution. What up, Jeff? He went 3-0 today on his picks. Solid, dude. And then Meg fuming about her team. Yeah. Baker Mayfield, last second touchdown to the rookie. Yeah, that's a tough way to go out. But Falcons did look good with Michael Penix, looking really solid, I think.
Bijan Robinson too.
Oh yeah, he feasted on my fantasy team. It was a sight to behold.
Let's all just talk about Younghoe Koo, though.
What about him?
He missed the game-tying field goal. They got down there to send it to overtime.
You know what they should have done? They should have signed Matt Prater, like what the Bills did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped to see Matt.
We're going to give a massive shout-out to
our
West.
Yeah. It's funny, too, because we started a little controversy in the Podcasters League, because I just picked him up for fun. Actually, ironically, I dropped Koo for Prater.
Yeah, I was telling my brother that.
And so Prater, who was signed to the practice squad of the Bills, I just did it in solidarity. I didn't even think he was going to start. And then sure enough, he did. And then one of the other podcasters messaged me. He goes, "Hey, do you have some inside information about that Prater thing?" And it turned into this big, I don't know. It felt like it was a bigger thing. I was like, no, I just, he's a friend of the pod and wanted to have him on my team, and he's starting, I guess, cool, I guess, but whatever.
But even if you did have insider stuff, I literally watched the draft on ESPN where Adam Schefter drafted James Cook, and right before he said it, he said, because I've been given information, I know I'm okay with this pick. And then the next morning announce the James Cook.
Right.
It's like, even if we did, it's your resources.
Yeah. So
It's a rough
works out.
Though, because like even
the Niners,
luckily they still got the dub, but the Browns kicker, Browns just gonna Brown, boys.
Yeah. Take him there every Super Bowl.
Every Super Bowl. So I think let's go ahead and talk about a huge game today for your boy Gino.
Yeah. Great win for the Raiders. This is the kind of matchup I wanted the Raiders to really come out on top. I mean, like we talked about earlier in this week with our matchups and our previews, where I felt like the Raiders and the Patriots are kind of in the same boat. They're not quite rebuilding. They've got a good leadership that really needs to steer the ship, so to speak. And I think one of the things I was encouraged about, which was the Raiders' second half adjustments. They looked terrible in the second quarter. Patriots were able to kind of have their way with them offensively and defensively. And when the Raiders came back in the second half, they really shaped up, which was great. It was great to see, really encouraging. Run game, not great, but Mike Vrabel's defenses are always stout against that. So, if you can have a little bit of momentum, that's fine. So Genty is probably going to have a breakout game against the Chargers because it's a AFC West divisional matchup. But I was encouraged by this. I do have some critical notes for Gino, like him. He's great. He's really accurate. I like it. He's really aggressive, but there's a lot of aggression within his play that he should have been picked off 3 times today. And fortunately he wasn't. And I think that would have really swung the momentum the other way had some of his challenges to the defense went the wrong way, which they very much could have. I think that was one of the things I was concerned with. But our defense, I was actually surprised with. It was actually what helped win the game, where we were able to get off the field, pressure Drake made where he was making costly mistakes. And I think that's what's encouraging. Like we're going into week 2 against the Chargers in Vegas with a little bit of confidence. And, it's going to be a crazy matchup because we always play the Chargers hard. They always play us hard. And, hopefully Raider Nation can show up in Vegas to black out the Allegiant Stadium because we need a home game desperately. So I'm encouraged by it, but also too, I want to see if we can, get on a little bit of a win streak before we, say, hey, we're here. So.
Yeah. Gino had a good Matthew Stafford Lions day, kind of when he was with the Lions, 24-34, 362, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mm-hmm. We'll say the 4 sacks for 29 yards. Obviously, the offensive line still a work in progress, and Cody's alluded to that a few times. Genty, 19 for 38, is a 2-point average, but he did have a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Skill position guys, I think that's a good bright side as long as Bowers. And I don't think Bowers is going to be a serious injury, but I think if you are out without Bowers, it hurts. But at the same time, I think Pete Carroll had a lot of good things to say about Michael Mayer after the game. Mm-hmm. Obviously not the same caliber, but I think he would be reliable as long as it's only a couple of weeks. Yeah. Like, you don't want anything long-term for Brock Bowers, but Mayer, 4 catches, 38 yards on 4 targets. So, again, he's a part of the offense. Jacoby Meyer, 8 for 97. Brock Bowers, 5 for 103. So, again, 24 carries for 56 yards as a team, though. That's not going to win you games in the NFL.
No, still piss poor run game. I will say, though, a lot of this is because of that run defense that the Patriots have, but our blocking scheme, awful. 3 of the 4 sacks that Gino had were in the first half, so fortunately we kept him clean in the second half. But still, though, he had a lot of pressure, he had a lot of quarterback hits. If we're going to keep him upright and healthy throughout the season, we got to clean that up. And to get Genty going, we need to give him some running lanes to run through and not give up in the trenches, because that's our weakest point right now. It is hard to watch sometimes.
You're a Drake May guy. Like, how did you think as far as 30 for 46, 287? What'd you think of him and maybe the Patriots' kind of lack of run game?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a couple things for him. They still don't have a great run game, but I think that starts in the trenches with them as well. They drafted the left tackle, but they're not exactly solid across the board after that. But I think they still lack the weapons. I know they went and got Diggs, but he's coming off a major leg injury, and he's up there in age now. He's not the same Diggs that was with, Josh Allen in Buffalo. So I think they still lack the playmakers. Like, they have a bunch of reliable people, and I'm going to touch on a point of this with the Chiefs later, but like, they have a bunch of people who can catch the ball, but they don't have people who can make plays.
Yeah.
Like when we were watching a little bit, when it would switch to that game, it would be a 6-yard pass to Bowers, and it would end up a 28-yard catch. They would run a little pass to Tucker, and it would get 12 more yards than what the pass actually went to. Drake May is still lacking that a little bit, and it'll take time. So I still trust in Drake May. I trust in Vrabel. They're going to be a hard game for most people just because it's a Vrabel coach team now. But I still think they lack a little bit of offensive firepower to win many games, needing high 20, 30-point games. But I think Drake May is franchise quarterback. If that's the question you're asking, like, how do I feel about him? I still feel the same. He was competitive. I know it's a game where you're looking like they should beat the Raiders. This ain't the same Raiders team either. Like, it's a Pete Carroll team now, right, with some talent. So I think Drake May's the guy. I think they're obviously going to get some playmakers. Once they get the line a little better, Travion Henderson could be that playmaker in the run game for him. But yeah, the Patriots are in a good spot. They're kind of like the Raiders, like Cody said. They're kind of here, but they're also not quite here yet. Like, it could swing either way depending how a couple things go. So I know Patriots lost, but I still think it's a positive sign for them.
Any day Josh McDaniels can look like politely saying, just if Josh McDaniels can Josh McDaniels in a good way for what he's done to both franchises.
Ironically.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I do want to point out the 4 sacks today. You had Tyree Wilson with 1, Malcolm Kuntz with 1, Jonah Lalu 1, and Max Crosby also 1. Cody, were you happy with the pressure that they were able to create, and maybe is that a good sign for maybe Tyree Wilson? Because I know a lot of Raiders fans weren't very high on him.
I think what was encouraging is when the pressures got home is when it counted the most. Like in the second half, in third down in need, it did come up because in the majority of that game, Drake May had a clean pocket. So a lot of these sacks came in the second half, which again, those adjustments that I mentioned that the Raiders did helped out a lot. Because last year they were not making adjustments, and you can just see like the lack of effort that the Raiders were doing because teams would figure them out. Raiders wouldn't adjust. So it was encouraging to see Max Crosby get home or Tyrese Wilson get home, or Kuntz on the opposite edge kind of, making May uncomfortable. That was good to see. But also with that, we need our secondary to kind of also stay on their assignments because there's a lot of blown coverages. And fortunately, if May had an extra half a second, he probably would have found them. But, again, we'll take a win where we can get it. But, the defense played better than I thought. But, if we're going to go up against teams like the Chiefs, like the Chargers, like the Broncos that have elite offensive lines, we're going to need to bring more pressure, stay home on the assignments, and do a little bit better of a job. It's a great win, but we have a lot to clean up on the defensive side.
Let's also give a shout out here. Jamal Adams was freaking flying around.
Yeah, he's meant to be a linebacker for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to last all 17 because that's always been his thing, right?
Yeah.
But I will say Pete Carroll bringing him in through game 1 right now looks brilliant. This looked like the guy that the Seahawks gave up multiple first-rounders for and traded for. Like, he was flying around. So, and Devin White, too. I don't know.
Devin White resurgence is on. Jamal Adams resurgence is on. Those two dual linebackers, they were great. A lot of them tackle for losses, got us off the field on that third down or got us in long third down yardage. Credit to them for how they played, and credit to Pete Carroll and his defensive mind to see that these two are going to work together, and it did. They were much needed on the defensive side. It would have been a lot worse if we had the linebacking core from last year, which ironically Robert Spillane, who's on the Patriots now, he would have been torched last year with the game plan. So
yeah, I know that was one of the weaknesses, but I just want to point out this is what you heard us talk about all off season, preseason, leading up to this, that Pete Carroll has an effect.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Adams and Devin White, what we just talked about, that is a Pete Carroll effect. Jamal Adams obviously has been an All-Pro before,
Right.
but Devin White came in hot, and then whatever happened in Tampa just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
It's back, and it's 100% a Pete Carroll thing. So this is one of the things that we'll point out throughout the season that is 100% a Pete Carroll effect, and this is what we mean when we say coaching matters.
And like I said before, the Raiders always needed someone that they could just get behind as far as a head coach and a quarterback, and they have that there in Vegas now. And you can see it. You can kind of like feel like the morale just kind of like lifted. Like, cool, now we have a coach. Hey, we got a competent QB. You can kind of like feel their momentum just going. And that's good. You know, I mean, granted, you know, everyone else in the AFC West, no one wants to see the Raiders succeed, but it is nice. And I'm sure it's rewarding for you, Cody, who's been down in the dumps for such a long time.
Yeah.
To kind of see them just click on not just one side of the ball, but all sides of the ball.
Right.
You know, they just click together. They mesh well together. And like Austin said, that's the Pete Carroll effect.
Yeah. What's weird is he's the oldest coach in the league, but he is by far the one coach who can just generate momentum just by being himself. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense. Like Andy Reid's calm. He's going to do it by like being nice and cool with you, being that player's coach. He's not going to get hyped, but Pete Carroll will just create his own energy and momentum. And it's spot on what the Raiders need. And, you know, through week one, you saw it. Like, I don't know. There's a different vibe to the Raiders. Yeah. I hate it. I don't like it, but I love Pete. So
I'm not going to poo-poo in your Cheerios tonight. I'll save that for later when you guys get ready for the Chargers. But again, we'll save it. We'll leave it at that.
Don't poo-poo in anyone's Cheerios ever.
You said poo.
Well, not to poo-poo in your Cheerios here, Austin. We do need to move on to the last of the AFC West division, which is ironically two teams that played, the Chargers and the Chiefs, that played on Friday in Brazil. Chiefs lost, unfortunately, 27-21.
Unfortunately, thanks, man.
I mean, it was unfortunate for you. I mean, it was fortunate for us, but, you know, I care about you still, you know, but I'm glad the Chiefs lost.
I would have been fine if they both lost.
I would have loved a tie, to be honest with you. That would have made me excited. But anyways, Austin, how are you feeling about the Chiefs' performance, the way that they lost? What are you looking for week 2 for them to get back on track?
Yeah, I mean, I think this loss means way more to non-Chiefs fans than it does actual Chiefs fans. You have some of the bandwagoners and stuff who are taking it personal because people are, like, taking shots at Travis and Taylor Swift and all that stuff, which, like, also leave them out of it. But again, it's week 1. My panic, I think I said this in one of our my panic is at a 0. It might be at like half a point because we do have to play the Eagles next week. Mm-hmm. So we could very well be starting at 0-2, but I will be saying the same thing at an 0-2 start. My panic is still not going to be very high. Like, these are very good teams. At some point we do get to play like the Raiders. We get to play twice. But no, if we're going to just strictly talk about the performance on Friday, it was actually kind of surprising. The one thing the Chiefs usually do pretty well coming into week 1 is start pretty quick. Andy Reid always has a pretty good start on the season, and that's because he plays his dudes thoroughly through preseason games and all the preseason games. And they didn't come out at all. Part of me thinks that early Xavier Worthy injury really kind of shook the vibe for a while. Yeah, it really threw. I mean, a lot was on his. I was going to say his shoulders, but that seems kind of insensitive.
No pun intended.
Yeah, a lot was going to be on his plate, and I think the first third down of the game were another friendly fire injury. I mean, remember Patrick Mahomes with Rice last year? It was a friendly fire with them, and now Travis with that. But I think that shook him a little bit. Which again, championship team you should be able to next man up. But I think honestly, and this isn't me trying to be a Chiefs fan, like downplaying the Chiefs' performance, I think this says more about the Chargers. Honestly,
coming from the guy who said the Chargers were going to finish last in the division.
Yeah. Do you still think that's a true prediction?
Everyone's taking a guess in the preseason. Like, I like the Chargers the least, so that's why they're finishing. We don't have any film at that point. We're all just guessing, and I'm going to put it in the order of teams I like to don't like.
And Cody asked that question again.
So do you change your prediction on the Chargers then? Do you still think they're finishing last, or Do you think they're better than what you thought?
Can I say yes to both?
But you can do whatever you want. You're a grown-ass man. So
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, I think they are better than I thought, but I still think they get last.
Okay.
Someone has to get last.
It's the Raiders.
It's not the
It's the Raiders.
Don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
I mean, let's be honest. It will probably be the Raiders. If you're wanting to be realistic and not just putting me wanting the Chargers to get last because I don't like them, it will probably be the Raiders. And yes, I do think Look, and I was the one who said Bo Nix up before this season never had that it factor.
Mm-hmm.
He showed not Bo Nix, Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert, yeah.
Right? Yeah, he actually showed a little bit of, I'm not saying full-fledged, but he actually showed a little emotion, showed a lot of poise, and no hesitation on that game-winning scramble. That exact thing has happened in previous games before, where he would either try to force a deep throw, or he would hesitate enough to where pursuit could catch. He said no. He said no this time. The moment Chris Jones took that inside line, he took off. So, that could be the Harbaugh effect. This could be the effect that he's finally getting decent coaching around him as far as quarterback coaching goes. So that could be that. I still think there's a lot of holes on the Chargers. Chiefs weren't in a position to expose them. We still don't know how the Chargers run game is going to do because the Chargers know the Chiefs secondary is straight ass, and so they just came out and passed. We couldn't stop. We generated no pressure. I mean, I think I saw Charles Omenihu and Mike Dana combined for 68 pass rush snaps and had a 0% win percentage. That can't happen. So, again, that's the coaching. They knew the Chiefs' weakness was going to be the secondary, most likely. They exploited that. So we don't know how the running game's going to do. I still don't think the Chargers secondary is that good. Once the Chiefs kind of settled in, there was a lot of broken down. That Travis Kelce should have been a touchdown over the middle in the red zone. Shockingly, Travis and Patty aren't on the same page. I don't know if it's because Taylor took that role and now Patty's an afterthought. But there were still a lot of holes on the Chargers defensively that Chiefs weren't able to expose. At least not yet. But I will say I think the Chargers are better than what I had given them credit. And I don't think they're for sure getting last.
I mean, the Chiefs are on pace to go 0-17. So
yeah, I mean, again, this is week one. This game meant way more to all of you than it actually did to real Chiefs fans. Like we lost to the Lions a couple years ago.
This is probably the only time that we can have a one-up on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So let us have it. So
yeah, like I was fine. Like I was fine with it. Was actually the KU game that actually made me just feel sick to my stomach. So So if we're talking football, like obviously I want the Chiefs to win every game, but like it's a 17-game year, and let's be honest, 30, 20, 26 teams in the NFL can win on any given day. And I think Chiefs and Chargers are both in that category of like either of those teams can beat any team on any day.
Yeah.
So again, if we're sitting here in a month and the Chiefs are 1-4, 0-5, I honestly probably won't join these shows with you guys.
We have commitments to sponsors that require our appearances, sir.
We do. I know. But what I'm saying is it's week one. Yes, it sucks to lose, and it sucks to lose to a division game to start the year. But
yeah,
let's hold our horses. Let's not panic. This is a different conversation in a couple weeks, but week one, like I just enjoy real football's back. Yeah, it sucks that Chiefs are dead last, and I could very well be eating my words because of what I said before the year. But right now, it's just week one, so let's just enjoy meaningful football. And honestly, let's just enjoy the Cowboys losing more than the Chiefs, please.
I like your deflection. I appreciate it. Corey, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert showed some balls in this game.
Yep.
Let's not act like that last drive that the Chargers had to seal it didn't look like Patrick Mahomes on some of those Chiefs games.
Yeah.
You think you have the perfect coverage, the perfect defense called, and then dude just takes off and runs for a first down. Dude, that doesn't scream Patrick Mahomes the last 8 years. I don't know what else does. But I mean, he threw for 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. Running the ball, the Chargers could definitely do better. And again, it's week one. Harbaugh will get that stuff kind of ironed out. I talked about the offensive line needing to hold up. and that kind of being with Slater. Was it Slater?
Slater,
yeah.
Slater who got hurt a few weeks back. I think they held their own. Now there was a couple times where it was Herbert who kind of backed them up or kind of helped them out, bailed them out.
And a typical Spags blitz. Those were the only times we got there.
Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, I'll say that this is a big dub for the Chargers offensive line. That's a good confidence build as they head into this next game with the Raiders. Obviously, with Max Crosby and those guys, I mean, it's not an easy task, but now they know that they can do this. So I expect more than 90 yards from I
can't. The amount of times we said that leading up to it.
What, you didn't like his outfit, Jeff?
No.
Someone should wear that as a Halloween outfit. That'd be funny.
Well, when my brother said that, Denver ruined Cam Newton when we were watching the pregame, I'm like Denver literally ruined Cam Newton in the Super Bowl, and he was like, and clearly his taste or something like that, and I was just like, yeah.
But back to the Chargers, I don't foresee them getting 90 rush yards every game. I think that'll go up. Najee Harris only had 1 carry for 5 yards, and then Hampton obviously 15 carries, 48 yards. So I think they're going to see more of a balance. I think you'll see Hampton around that 15 carry mark, but I think you're going to get Najee Harris up to 8 to 10, closer to that as the season goes along. And I think that's just going to make Herbert that much better. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think Harbaugh's at a point with his roster in year 2. He's actually going to be more like opposing defense schematically, right? I think they will run against the teams who have proven to be soft. And then, he will pass against the teams who have proven to be, weaker on that one. I think that's where Harbaugh's at, and that's going to make the Chargers very hard to game plan for. Because you used to be able to, we're playing the Chargers, well, let's stop the run and just know that 90% chance of winning at that point. I think Harbaugh's at the point now where he's like, I can actually just game plan either a run game plan or a pass game plan and lean into whichever one I think we need to do. So I think you were right. I think this was more than just a 1-0 start for the Chargers from their point of view.
And the last thing I'm going to say on this is that the Keenan Allen signing for the Chargers is even bigger than some realize. I mean, he had 7 catches, 68 yards on 10 targets.
Always crucial.
He still led the Chargers in targets. So
yeah.
I think, everyone can say he's 32, he's old. I mean, no, he was still out there doing and carrying his own. And that touchdown catch he had was a big, big moment in that game for that. So Herbert, knowing he has his old friend back on top of the chemistry that he has with Ladd McConkey, and even Quentin Johnston had 5 catches. So that could be another turning point for him. So again, it's week 1, not time to overreact. But I do think that this shows a lot of more positives for the Chargers. And again, I don't say it's negative for the Chiefs because it's just week 1, but it's going to, you string this in 2 or 3 more weeks, then we may have to have some conversations heading into week 4.
Yes. It was a bigger win for the Chargers than it was a loss for the Chiefs, for sure.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
So for me, again, it's just week 1. So then you have to question, did the Chargers actually are they the real deal, or did they just face a Chiefs team that wasn't really prepared? I mean, being honest, just from what I saw, they just looked unorganized. They looked in disarray. They had no rhythm from start to finish. And normally, if they're out of rhythm, they're really good at finding it at some point down the road, and they just could not get into a rhythm. That's on both sides of the ball. So now it's kind of all right, are the Chargers the real deal, or did the Chiefs just lay an egg and, come the next matchup, you're going to see a whole different team? So, that question still remains to be seen because, again, it's only week 1. But the Chargers had a great day. Herbert, he threw for over 300 yards. Quentin Johnston, and, he's been in question for quite a while. He's miles ahead of where he was his rookie year. Last year, he had an up and down season, but 5 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's his best game. And he just looked the whole team looks confident. The Chargers themselves just look confident. And you weren't really seeing that before. And that might be the Harbaugh effect because he's just a confident coach. I mean, look at him in the pregame. He's jumping up and down with the sidelines, chest bumping his players. he's confident. He kind of instills that into his players. So I do think the Chargers are going to be competitive. I'm not ready to say that they're the real deal yet because we still have a whole season to play, but they took advantage of the Chiefs, unorganization. They took advantage of them just not having that rhythm, and they pounced on it and didn't look back. So they are going to be an opportunistic team, and that's going to be something to watch for going forward. So
I think what I'll say about this game is kind of like what you were saying, Matt. What was concerning is how unprepared the Chiefs looked. And I think I sit here week one, and I can understand, like, it's week one, right? But I think you're going against a divisional foe. You just got the brakes beaten off you in the Super Bowl. I would like to think that you'd like to come out and set the tone, make a statement that, hey, we're still the Chiefs, and you still have to go through us in the AFC. And I think what I was concerned with is the Chargers bullied the Chiefs more to where it looked like, why do the Chargers, who, were eliminated in their wild card game, why do they look like they're the tougher team when the Chiefs were the ones that were just in the Super Bowl? And I'm not trying to say it's, the sky is falling on the Chiefs. I still think they're going to be number one in the AFC West. They're going to be the toughest team to face no matter what division or conference they play in. I think what I was just discouraging, if I was looking at it on the Chiefs side, is Andy Reid's team that looked that unprepared, that unready to play any sort of smash mouth football. I was looking for them to kind of rise to the occasion. Instead, it kind of felt like that they took the Chargers for granted. Like they thought, oh, they're going to roll over on us. And the Chargers wanted to make an emphatic statement that we are not the same team that you played last year. And I think that's what I'm concerned with. Now, granted, maybe this is a wake-up call the Chiefs need to kind of like turn around, refocus, recenter. But I would have thought that would have been the loss to the Super Bowl about, okay, are we hungry again? Are we going to do this again? This is probably Travis Kelce's last season. Also, Andy Reid, how many more seasons does he want to continue coaching? I just felt like week one should have been a little bit better of a presentation of how the Chiefs are. But it's week one. They really got to get their act together for week two going against the Eagles for sure. Now, I'm not saying that the Eagles look like that much of a juggernaut because they played the Cowboys, and if it wasn't for that lightning strike, who knows what that game would have turned out between Cowboys, because the Cowboys were kind of giving it to the Eagles for some of that game, kind of surprisingly. And the Eagles just outlasted them. But I think the Chiefs are going to have their work cut out for them. But I think that would be my only concern is, week one, I would have thought that the Chiefs would have come out with a little bit more venom, so to speak, from having that bad taste in their mouth.
True, but it's hard to also think of the Eagles knew the Chiefs were week two. The Chiefs knew the Eagles were week two, right? You should have just given what America really wanted and made that game the Thursday night game. Yeah. Seriously, I do think we're going to get a better version of the Chiefs this week. I do.
And I agree because I don't want to make excuses. That's not what I'm about. But at the same point, we're also kind of facing what we did last year. Right now, 3 of our top 5 receivers that got most of the reps, because everyone thought up until it happened, Rice was going to play 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then Worthy only plays 1 series. And then Jalen Royals was a late scratch. So 3 people, as far as receivers go. I think we had a game plan for Worthy, but then when he went out, there was nobody left. Hollywood, I think, took that role, but he's not the same person Xavier Worthy is at this point in his career. So I think the Chiefs are just going to have to find a way to last through the Rashee Rice extension, because what I was going to say from earlier till now, Chiefs receivers right now, they have a bunch of dudes who can catch the ball, but they don't have the playmaker. That's Worthy and that's Rice. Mm-hmm. And right now, maybe not going to have Worthy for the rest of the year, and then Rice for 6 weeks. So they got to find a way to get through 6 weeks till they can get that playmaker back, because they're missing that. And that's what we thought we were going to have this year.
I think that was my favorite part of Friday night. Cody's texting saying, hey, what a game for Rice. And my brother's like, yeah, that 5 for 16 yards is really killing it. He's finished 10 for 100.
Oh, yeah, Hollywood Brown.
Brown, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Hollywood Brown.
That 5 for 11 is really killing it. And then 10 for 100 yards later, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was the only one that was getting through that secondary. So
yeah. Maddie, do you got any thoughts on that Chiefs Chargers?
I mean, nothing that hasn't already been said. Again, I'm not, like I said the other day with the, what is it, the 3 guys, 6 balls, whatever they are, how many balls they have. We've seen this before. How many times have we seen the Chiefs drop the first game of the season and everyone was so quick? Oh, the Chiefs are done for. You won't see them in the playoffs. And then next thing you know, they're in the Super Bowl. Again, it's just a bad game. Andy Reid will have them ready for the next game. They're good at bouncing back, and I'm not too concerned for the Chiefs going forward as of right now.
We're bringing the guy this week. Talk about week matchup. I do love seeing overreactions from other fans after week 1. So I do look forward to seeing all those on social media tomorrow as well. I don't think we're going to get into that overreaction type thing, but I am going to have some strong feelings for what I saw today. I just want to go back and make sure that I was seeing everything correctly before I started calling out coaches. So just be ready for that for our segments.
I'm so excited for the Colts people to join up. You know how I feel about Daniel Jones ever since he came into the league. And after week 1 performance, there's going to be some heat within Colts people that close. So make sure y'all can for that.
What else we got? We doing some. You guys want to talk about one or two more games? You just want to do a giveaway?
I think we're going to do a giveaway, right?
I say we just do the giveaway, man. It's game time. It's Sunday Night Football. We're missing Carrie Underwood.
Well, actually, too, just to give a game update, the Buffalo Bills just scored on a first down play it was Allen to Kincaid. So 7 plays, 50-yard drive. So they're up right now.
Cool.
All right, so
that's my quarterback and my bench tight end.
Yeah. So here's what I say. Let's get into the giveaway, and then we'll just do a quick what non-divisional game stood out to you, and then we'll close out the show. What do you guys say?
100%.
All right.
Obviously, I'm going to pick the Falcons game that stood out to me because they lost.
All right,
That's not cool, man.
That's not cool, man.
That's not cool.
It's not cool, man.
All right, so here we got all the list of our subscribers and anybody that followed the prompt to our giveaway, which I think was only Meg. So shout out to Meg. You were in here to begin with. So, all right, we ready, guys?
Wheel of
Spin.
All right. 3, 2. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm on the right side. Here we go.
Everything's in gray.
Here we go. Let's see.
So this picking the winner or is this to eliminate?
I think winner.
Okay.
Alex.
What up, Tap?
Shout out. All right. So what we need to do is we need a DM Tap and get an address because we got to giveaway stuff coming. Also, shout out to our partners, JBW Solutions. They are also going to partner with us on the giveaway, which is why we wanted you guys to follow them on their Instagram page. So look out for a DM to get everything situated. So yeah.
Nice.
Meg, I don't know what was rude. You were already in the thing. In fact, you
talking about our Falcons comment.
Whose Falcon comment?
Mine.
Oh.
That was just payback for you thinking pineapples belong on pizza.
Yeah, for real. That's an abomination.
I can't have this
Are we
conversation.
just we're doing one giveaway, right? Or are we doing how are we doing this?
Just the one giveaway. So they got the 100 sub giveaway, I think. I don't know if we have time to eliminate a bunch of people. That's a lot.
Good.
Eliminate? What are we? I guess we are a war room.
The Hunger Games.
We're the war room, fellas. No,
Cool.
Meg, again, pineapple does not belong. It does not belong on pizza. Keep it off pizza. Okay? You can have it.
Yep.
Keep it off pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos offense was still bad today. Yeah, bro, we're well aware.
Yep, we know.
They still got away with the dub, though. So
we talked about it at the beginning of the show, and we'll have a more deeper dive into it later this week.
Yeah.
Pineapples.
Yeah, it wasn't good. So yeah, we're fully.
It was not sweet at all.
It was not sweet at all. It was not sweet at all. But luckily, Broncos defense today definitely answered the call. So they showed up and they did their part.
Yeah,
they did.
That was quite a fun post. But
Matt, what non-divisional game stood out to you this Sunday?
Honestly, I like the Steelers and Jets because that was the only game that I got to see. But you know what, though? In all honesty, it was a really good game. Both of them, both Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields, looked really comfortable in their offenses, and that Fields Garrett Wilson connection was something else, man. So
4 touchdowns, man. 4 touchdowns for the old man.
Yeah, what is he, 42 now? 40, 42?
41.
He's old enough. I know that. He's old.
According to the NFL, he's supposed to be gone by now. So,
in NFL years, he's 200.
Justin Fields absolutely did have a great day as well.
He did. He did.
We won't hold that, and we won't not say that because he did. He deserves that. Don't sleep on this Jets team. I don't think they're gonna be a playoff team yet. But let's kind of, they're going to compete, and that defense has a few things they need to kind of get, ironed out themselves. That wasn't a typical Jets defense that we're so used to seeing, and that could just be no Robert Saleh, But Aaron Glenn's a good defensive coordinator and defensive mind himself, so maybe just a couple shuffles and look at what they have. But Quinnen Williams looked really good today on the D line. Their secondary is still kind of but Jet fans actually have something to be excited about. And I know that they're Jet fans and they still have high expectations, and I don't want to tell them not to do that. But I think that should give Steeler fans actually a lot more excitement.
Yeah, I guess if we are going over another game, I just want to say my favorite thing seeing was Russell Wilson sucking.
Yeah, still.
I only say that because I'm a big Jackson Dart guy. Jackson Dart needs to be starting there, so seeing Russell Wilson suck still.
Well, not behind that offensive line.
There was plenty of times where he had days to throw the football, and he was just like, do I? And he didn't. So let's hope this continues. Let's hope Dayball has a short leash because, let's be honest, his job's on the line.
I already said he's gone after this season unless they make.
He was gone after last
unless
season.
They need to make the NFC title game or something. He's not surviving after this year.
Unless Jackson Dart, they make the move and they come out and literally set the world on fire, Dayball is gone.
Yeah.
And there was a look on his face a few times today where he was kind of like, so.
Because they have the weapons. Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson, Hyatt, they have serviceable tight ends, Scatty and Tracy, they have weapons.
They have a team.
They have a good enough offensive line to someone who is slightly mobile can work with.
We're officially entering Jackson Dart watch.
Put it on the ticker. I don't know where I would put it, but
just right now we're officially on Jackson Dart watch. So there's a handful. I
didn't think we were doing this.
But yeah, I was going to talk about the Jets game anyway, so Matt took care of that for me. So
okay. Austin, did you have another one?
Yeah, Daniel Jones, y'all. But I'll save a lot of that for when Colts Brigade's on because I'm a big Daniel Jones guy. I thought he just needed to get away for the Giants for the last couple of years. I'm not saying the Colts are significantly a bump in organizational tiers, but they're higher up than the Giants. And again, it is the Dolphins, so I'm not going to say MVP season end loading like I did to some of my friends via text today. But I do think this shows that he was because I don't know how Anthony Richardson would have played because you still have to complete passes.
Well. I don't think so.
I think it just proved it was the right move. But I'll get into more of that with the Colts people because I'm stoked about it.
Okay.
And we'll officially be on Tyreek Hill to the Chiefs watch.
That needs to happen.
I would not be surprised.
Trent McDuffie.
That's what I said. Oh, wait, you're in that text group. Never mind.
So I do want to say, because the game I did see that I thought was super encouraging was the Rams versus the Texans. And before I get to that, I do want to say, Austin, the way that you see Daniel Jones and the situation that he was in doesn't mean that he's that bad of a player. I felt the same way with Justin Fields. I feel like Justin Fields had a crappy start to his career with the Bears. I thought he got the short end of the stick in Pittsburgh. I felt like he should have remained the starter. But now that he's with the Jets to have no competition, I'm happy for him, and I hope that he continues to ball out because I actually think he's a good player if he's in a good situation. And I think whoever takes a chance on him, he'll do well for them. But I do want to say the Rams looked really good against the Texans, who the Texans have a super stout defense. The Rams look scary. They look like they're an NFC team outside of the Packers that could rival the Eagles for a spot in the Super Bowl. I'm not kidding you. Their defense was flying everywhere. Their secondary was locking down receivers. They are going to be a fierce team to play on both sides of the ball. So I like the Rams and Texans. Rams look like a scary team, in my opinion.
I want to shout out to Deb also for calling that. She told us back a few weeks ago when she was on with us that she's like, hey, let's not sleep on Matt Stafford. She was at training camp watching the Rams, and she said, let's not sleep on the Rams. So she's looking good with her predictions so far through week 1.
And I want to know, like, how does Sean McVay just always get Puka Nacua wide open? Like, what?
Dude, that's every time.
Cover him. But dude's a genius. All right, we talk about coaches all the time. If we're just talking about X's and O's and lining up, like, play designs and schemes, I might be taking Sean McVay number 1.
Man crush, Sean McVay.
Sean McVay is that coach. I mean, Puka Nacua, with having Devontae Adams, you would think would take a lot of his target shares. Puka still led the team with 11 targets, and he brought in 10 of those targets. So he had 10 receptions, and Adams, who had 8 targets, brought in 4. So Stafford was spreading the ball around, but it's Puka's team, like, no doubt. And Sean McVay just finds a way to get in the ball.
How is he always open? That's what I want to know.
He got knocked out in the second before the halftime. And he still came back and caught like another 8 passes. Like there was nothing stopping Puka. He's legit.
Yeah, I don't even know if he is legit. He's just Sean McVay's dude, so he's just always wide open.
Yeah.
Same thing with Cooper Kupp. Like, why was Cooper Kupp never guarded with the Rams? It's a Sean McVay and Matt Stafford thing. I'm a little jealous because, like, if we could get dudes that open in Kansas City, we wouldn't have to worry about them, every receiver getting hurt and driving 120. But, Puka's always open. As long as Matt Stafford's healthy, I think the Rams would be my pick in the NFC.
Yeah, I would say if there's an NFC team that I would trust over the Eagles, it would definitely be the Rams. And I'd take the Rams over the Packers. I know the Packers look good against the Lions and so on and so forth, but I would still trust the Rams. The Rams, they have a defense that is scary. So
yeah, and I trust Matt Stafford a little more.
Yeah, me too.
At this point in their careers.
Me too. All right, guys, do we have anything else before we close out the show?
No, big week coming up, so it starts Tuesday.
I've just been thinking about pulled pork nachos this whole time.
That sounds really good, actually, right now.
That's our dinner.
Oh, okay.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah. All right. So, game update: Bills are still up 7-0, but the Ravens are driving right now. They're almost in the red zone of the Bills.
As AFC fans, who do we want to win the game?
Buffalo.
Who do I think will win, or who do I want to win?
I said one.
First off, let's not forget Matt Prater had the extra point on that.
Go Prater.
Westy Bestie.
That's right. You know what? For Prater, I want the Bills to win.
You seem like someone who would want the Ravens to win.
I think they would win, but who do I want is a different thing. So.
Yeah, and then you said because of Prater, you're picking the Bills. So if it wasn't Prater, you'd be picking the Ravens?
Yeah, I would actually.
That's what I'm saying. You seem like a Ravens person.
I'm not a Ravens person. I just think that they have a better team. But
I would still want the Bills to win.
Well, I want the Bills to win now because of Matt Prater.
Silly goose.
It's not about what you want.
Yeah. You like the teams who just can't quite win anything important.
That's nice of you to say.
For our first Sunday episode.
I can't wait for the rest of the season.
I can't wait for Raiders week.
Oh, it's going to be so great. I can't wait.
With all the Chiefs guests I've lined up, and you've gotten nobody.
It's a good thing we don't have Quentin Jammer on this week. Can you imagine how he would be asking a bunch of questions, Austin?
Honestly,
see his milk report.
In a couple weeks, he's probably still going to let me know about it because it's Quentin Jammer.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Who also almost nailed the score prediction.
He did, actually.
He did.
Did you guys see Sylvester Morris nailed the score prediction?
Yeah, Savant. He nailed it.
Right on there.
It's almost like he knew.
Cracked me up.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's close it out. Oh, hold on. We got Jeff here. Bills, but Jackson's on my fantasy quarterback. Yeah, I got a team with Jackson too. So, all right, guys, that's it for us. We want to give a special shout out to JBW Solutions, who is our main partner. We really appreciate them. And again, when we come back, we will be having our Fantasy Football Frenzy, where we will be doing a sponsored segment by JBW Solutions. Also, give a shout out to our partners, our other partners, Emporia State Federal Credit Union. All their information is linked down below. So that way, if you guys want an awesome deal on some great rates, They're there for you. And also Field Ops Kansas. Visit Troy to get field markings. And what my buddy Matt is pointing out is Spy Optic. Use promo code Orange20, get 20% off some shades. You'll need them on game day when it's on those sunny days, guys, for sure. So, all right, guys.
0-1 starts to 0-1ers.
That's right. All the undefeated teams put the ones up. That's
Eight
right.
together strong.
All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next episode. We'll see you.